Make your own way to me is kind of like paving your own path to greatness.
Be a leader, not a follower.
To inspire other people to lead by example.
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, without youth. And, going around and trying to, figure it out, man. And, we always try to leave an impact. Every time we come to a city, I know how important that is. It can be something small, man. Just by seeing someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life. So I've been there before, and
And one of the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy to step out and do something that the next person is not doing.
I grew up as a kid, looking at the NBA, dreaming hopefully one day I can get there. I grew up watching All-Star games and, thinking that'd be cool, if I can make it there. And now I'm 11 years in consecutively, so you try not to take it for granted. You try to, you understand that nothing is guaranteed to you. So I'm thankful.
Don't be afraid to be different, man. That's what Make Your Own Way stands for. Your way. Everybody's is different. Everybody got a different story. You might be from the same block, you might be from the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but everybody got a different path.
I think what Dwayne and Li Ning are doing for these kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not afraid to sacrifice something that's cool for something that can have a positive effect on so many others, and most importantly, a younger generation.
D-Wade coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's giving back to me, like this room, before he gave back to this room, it was really small. Now it just looks excellent, it looks the best. And D-Wade coming to my school, personally, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
What these kids get to learn in these moments is not just how to put a ball in a hoop. They learn how to be themselves, be confident and competent in any arena. They're coming.
Make your own way to me.
Be a leader, not a follower.
To inspire other people to lead by example.
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, without youth. And, going around and trying to, figure it out, man. And, we always try to leave an impact. Every time we come to a city, I know how important that is. It can be something small, man. Just by seeing someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life. So I've been there before, and I get it.
And one of the hardest things is to something that the next person is not doing.
I grew up as a kid, dreaming hopefully one day I can get there. I grew up watching All-Star games and, thinking that'd be cool, if I can make it there. and now I'm 11 years in consecutively. So you try not to take it for granted. You try to, you understand that nothing is guaranteed to you. So I'm thankful.
Don't be afraid to be different, man. That's what make your own way stands for. Your way. Everybody's is different. Everybody got a different story. You might be from the same block, you might be from the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but everybody got a different path.
I think what Dwayne and Li Ning are doing for these kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not afraid to sacrifice something that's cool for something that can have a positive effect on so many others, and most importantly, a younger generation.
D-Wade coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's giving back to me, like this room, before he gave back to this room, it was really small. And now it just looks excellent, it looks the best. And D-Wade coming to my school, personally, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
What these kids get to learn in these moments is not just how to put a ball in a hoop. They learn how to be themselves, be confident and competent in any arena. They're coming.
Make your own way to me is kind of like paving your own path to greatness.
Be a leader, not a follower.
To inspire other people to lead by example.
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, without you. And, going around and trying to, figure it out, man. And, we always try to leave an impact. Every time we come to a city, I know how important that is. It can be something small, man. Just by seeing someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life. So I've been there before and I get it.
One of the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy to step out and do something that the next person is not doing.
I grew up as a kid, looking at the NBA, dreaming hopefully one day I can get there. I grew up watching All-Star games and, thinking that'd be cool, if I can make it there. And now I'm 11 years in consecutively, so you try not to take it for granted. You try to, you understand that nothing is guaranteed to you. So I'm thankful.
Don't be afraid to be different, man. That's what make your own way stands for. Your way. Everybody's is different. Everybody got a different story. You might be from the same block, you might be from the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but everybody got a different path.
I think what Dwayne and Li Ning are doing for these kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not afraid to sacrifice something that's cool for something that can have a positive effect on so many others, and most importantly, a younger generation.
D-Wade coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's giving back to me, like this room, before he gave back to this room, it was really small. And now it just looks excellent, it looks the best. And D-Wade coming to my school, personally, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
What these kids get to learn in these moments is not just how to put a ball in a hoop. They learn how to be themselves, be confident and competent in any arena. They're coming.
Make your own way to me is kind of like paving your own path to greatness.
Be a leader, not a follower.
To inspire other people to lead by example.
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, without you. And, going around and trying to, figure it out, man. And, we always try to leave an impact. Every time we come to a city, I know how important that is. It can be something small, man. Just by seeing someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life. So I've been there before and I get it.
one of the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy to step out and do something that the next person is not doing.
You know, I grew up as a kid, you know, looking at the NBA, dreaming hopefully one day I can get there. I grew up watching All-Star games and, you know, thinking that'd be cool, you know, if I can make it there. And now I'm 11 years in consecutively, so you try not to take it for granted. You know, you try to, you understand that nothing is guaranteed to you. So I'm thankful.
Don't be afraid to be different, man. That's what Make Your Own Way stands for. Your way. Everybody's is different. Everybody got a different story. You might be from the same block, you might be from the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but everybody got a different path.
I think what Dwayne and Li Ning are doing for these kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not afraid to sacrifice something that's cool for something that can have a positive effect on so many others, and most importantly, a younger generation.
D-Wade coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's giving back to me, like this room, before he gave back to this room, it was really small. Now it just looks excellent, it looks the best. And D-Wade coming to my school, personally, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
What these kids get to learn in these moments is not just how to put a ball in a hoop. They learn how to be themselves, be confident and competent in any arena. It's fun, it's fun.
Make your own way to mean cutting your own path to greatness.
Be a leader, not a follower.
To inspire other people to lead by example.
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, you know, without you. And, you know, going around and trying to, you know, figure it out, man. And, you know, we always try to leave an impact. You know, every time we come to a city, I know how important that is. You know, it can be something small, man. Just by seeing someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life. You know, so I've been there before and I get it.
And one of the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy to step out and do something that the next person is not doing.
You know, I grew up as a kid, you know, looking at the NBA, dreaming hopefully one day I can get there. I grew up watching All-Star games and, you know, thinking that'd be cool, you know, if I can make it there. And now I'm 11 years in consecutively, so you try not to take it for granted. You know, you try to, you understand that nothing is guaranteed to you. So I'm thankful.
Don't be afraid to be different, man. That's what Make Your Own Way stands for. Your way. Everybody's is different. Everybody got a different story. You might be from the same block, you might be from the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but everybody got a different path.
I think what Dwayne and Li Ning are doing for these kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not afraid to sacrifice something that's cool for something that can have a positive effect on so many others, and most importantly, a younger generation.
D-Wade coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's giving back to me, like this room, before he gave back to this room, it was really small. Now it just looks excellent, it looks the best. And D-Wade coming to my school, personally, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
What these kids get to learn in these moments is not just how to put a ball in a hoop. They learn how to be themselves, be confident and competent in any arena. It's fun, it's fun.
Make your own way to me is kind of like paving your own path to greatness.
Be a leader, not a follower.
To inspire other people
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, you know, without you. And, you know, going around and trying to, you know, figure it out, man. And, you know, we always try to leave an impact. You know, every time we come to a city, I know how important that is. You know, it can be something small, man. Just by seeing someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life. You know, so I've been there before and I get it.
And one of the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy.
You know, I grew up as a kid, you know, looking at the NBA, dreaming.
Cổ vũ cho các cầu thủ của Saigon Heat. Để tăng khả năng chiến thắng ở trận đấu này thì đội Saigon Heat cần phải có 3 vấn đề mà họ có thể phải chế ngự. Thứ nhất là cầu thủ dẫn bóng. Trong trận đấu vừa rồi thì cái người dẫn bóng chính là cầu thủ mang áo số 33 Việt Arnold. Tuy nhiên thì đây không phải là một cái vị trí Văn Nguyễn, một người mà được rất là nhiều được ban huấn luyện đặt hy vọng là sẽ là người dẫn bóng chính. Do bị chấn thương và Việt Arnold thì phải trở thành người dẫn bóng chính, trong khi cái nhiệm vụ mà anh thường chơi là việc ghi điểm. Chính vì vậy mà đây sẽ là một cái thử thách lớn của Saigon Heat để xem là ai sẽ là người dẫn bóng chính. Có thể là cái nhiệm vụ dẫn bóng này không chỉ một mình Việt Arnold sẽ làm, mà có thể phải phân chia đều giữa các cầu thủ của đội Saigon Heat. Cái vấn đề thứ hai là việc phòng thủ trước rổ. Đội Saigon Heat trong trận đấu với cả Singapore Slinger đã mất rất nhiều điểm ngay trước rổ. Họ để cho đội Singapore Slinger ghi đến 52 điểm ở trước rổ. Điều đấy có nghĩa là những trung phong và những tiền vệ có thân hình
One day I can get there. I grew up watching, you know, you understand that nothing is guaranteed to you.
Don't be afraid to be different, man. That's what make your own way stands for. Your way. Everybody's is different. Everybody got a different story. You might be from the same block, you might be from the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but
These kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not for something that can have a positive effect on so
Greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's given back to me, like this room, before he gave back to this room, it was really small. Now it's just excellent, it looks the best. And D Wakely, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
What these kids get to learn in these moments is not to put a ball in a hoop. They learn how to be themselves, confident and competent in any area. They're coming.
Make your own way to me is kind of like paving your own path.
To lead by
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, you know, without you. And, you know, going around and trying to, you know, figure it out, man. And, you know, we always try to leave an impact. You know, every time we come to a city, by seeing someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life. You know, so I've been there before and I get it.
the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy to step out and do something that the next person is not doing.
You know, I grew up as a kid, you know, looking at the NBA, dreaming hopefully one day I can get there. I grew up watching games and, you know, thinking that'd be cool, you know, if I can make it there, and I'm thankful.
Don't be afraid to be different, man. That's what makes it the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but everybody got
Cool for something that can have a positive with so many others, and most importantly, a younger generation.
D-Wade coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's to me like this room, before he gave back to this room, it was now it just looks excellent, it looks the best.
Much different. Mid top of the key, Creekmore can hit from 3. And off rim. Looking for Johnson. And it looked like it's going to be Dragon's ball, or I'm sorry, it's going to be Heat ball as it hit off the Dragon player.
That went off a few players. That lob pass just didn't work out for them.
He was going for the touchdown. Montana to Rice. Viet Arnold, bounce pass into Daniel. Daniel up and under. Creekmore on the weak side. And it looked like Johnson got over to contest the shot. Calvin Godfrey, turnaround spin, got it. Viet Arnold tried to take the charge, couldn't. And Godfrey did a spin, left-handed finish on Viet Arnold. It is now 7-7. That's Lenny Daniel, top of the key, a little strong. Creekmore the rebound. Creekmore 10 feet away. And he hits. 9-5, Saigon Heat over the Dragons. So Creekmore from 10 feet. He's got a nice touch. Bad pass into the key.
Oh, Morgan broke that one up and slid into the front row.
Did. Looks like he slipped on something there. Slipped on his feet, just came out from under him as he was going for the ball on the sideline. Crowd's going to give him a round of applause for the effort. And you can see right now they're fixing some sort of malfunction over there by the chairs because it looked like he slipped on something. Nonetheless, he's okay. And that is off the rim by Yi Hao. Arnold gets it. Arnold takes it to the rim, and he scores.
Nice play.
Coast to coast.
David Arnold's going to have a good reason to want to play well against Malaysia because this is the team that knocked the Heat out of the playoffs last year. Yeah. Arnold was on that team, and I'm sure it still sticks in his craw whenever he sees this team coming up on the schedule.
Certainly would have a bitter taste in his mouth from last year's exit at the hands of the Dragons. So you can see he's really fired up tonight for the three-point play, and he got it. Now 12-7, up by 5. Fantastic start by the Heat. Godfrey looking center for Johnson. That's Brickman. Back into Godfrey. Left-handed finish off glass.
Made that one look too easy.
Well, it was great passing there by the Dragons. Unselfish basketball.
Malaysia has a number of weapons, and they make use of their heritage players really well, like Brickman's Filipino-American. Wright is a Canadian-Filipino.
That's Creekmore going baseline up and under off of Johnson. Wright, top of the key, pump fake. Back out to Brickman beyond 3. And they want to go Godfrey on Daniel. Great matchup tonight. Godfrey backing Daniel in. Daniel with fantastic defense. Back out to Yeho. Floater, back rim. Battle for the ball. Johnson comes up with it and the foul. So he'll go 1-1. That is a foul on Daniel.
That bounced off pretty much every player under the basket. Wound up in Reggie Johnson's hands.
He's just sucking everybody in like a black hole, Johnson. He's just massive in there. He's got to be over 300, huh, Harry?
I was going to say the 6'10", 290 measurements. I don't know if that's from the league office or that's Malaysia pulling a fast one on us because he looks big.
So that's a three-point play for Johnson. First foul on Daniel as Morgan's going to bring it up.
Put it this way, Creekmore is 260, and I would say he's easily more than 30 pounds outweighed.
That's Viet Arnold on the left side. Jumper from 8 feet away, and that's his second basket of the game. So Arnold's got an early 5. Back into Johnson. Looking to go on Creekmore. Baseline jumper, right hand, good. So
nice touch for a big man on that basket.
Johnson with the hoop. And you can already tell, Harry, the field goal percentage right now for the Heat much better than it was last week. Arnold drives, and that was blocked. Right, one-on-one against Creekmore. Right, up and under, puts it in.
I don't want to say it's a blessing in disguise, but maybe him having not to go on the road to the Philippines this week gave them a little more chance to work together here at the Canadian International School.
So we're going to get a call, and it's going to be a charging foul. I'm sorry, it's going to be a blocking foul on Morgan. So he's trying to take that charge. Looked like it was against Wright. And he picks up a foul. I do think it was a blessing in disguise, Harry. You know, the game was going to be played on Wednesday. A lot of traveling time involved. You know, so hopefully and most likely you're seeing fresher legs from the Saigon Heat because they didn't play that game. Obviously, they would have gotten work in terms of offensively and defensively. But what it allowed Coach Tony Garbaletto to do was get a little bit more practice time with his players. So you're seeing the offense and defense much smoother this week.
And when you're at home, you don't have to worry about, am I eating weird food in the hotel? Am I like jet lagged? You just can focus on the game.
Absolutely. We are tied at 16. There's just under 4 minutes to go. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to be exact. Brickman bringing it up as always for the Westport Dragons out to Johnson. Johnson the right. Right, top of the key. Back to Johnson, down below the free throw line. Turnaround jumper, that's wide. Morgan brings it up out to Daniel. Daniel, back door. Taken away by Gottfried, who saves it to Brickman. Brickman gonna run it to the corner for three. That's right. Number 7 is Matthew Wright for the three-point shot, and it is now a 19-16 Dragons lead. So Dragon passing
and
to
Brickman
Daniels.
is Filipino.
Those right-handed glass and the hoop. Foul in the harm. And he'll get a chance for another 1-and-1. And we're going to get our first timeout of the evening. So, Harry, a little bit better start this week than it was last week.
Lenny Daniel definitely, last week he was finding his legs. He hit the floor, a little more confidence this week.
Well, Harry, do you have anybody you want to say hello to tonight?
I'd like to say hi to my lovely wife, Mee, who's in the stadium, I believe sitting next to your lovely wife.
Yes, yeah, my wife, Bew, is here tonight. Also, I have one of my colleagues in the stands, Stephen Mantle, with his parents, and they flew all the way from London, England to be here at the game. So we're drawing them in from all over the world, folks.
I'm sure I have at least 2 or 3 Canadian fans going to listen to this feed. 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever it is in Toronto.
And that's great about the broadcast, Harry, is that it's going to all corners of the world. Whoever wants to, log into YouTube and watch the game, you can. I know I had a few friends in San Francisco watch the game, so absolutely fantastic in this day and age of media.
That said, if you do live in Saigon and you want to come down, it's some of the best atmosphere in the ASEAN Basketball League. Go to SaigonHeat.com to find ticket information or look for Saigon Heat on ticketbox.vn. There's courtside, there's corporate boxes, there's single game tickle. We got it ready for you.
I've never heard that before. Tickle your pickle. I like that. Different strokes for different folks is another one, but we won't get into that. So out of the timeout, 19-18 Dragons over the Heat. And coming out with this. Johnson's a big guy, but he's not nearly as agile as Justin Howard was last week. So what that means is that he's containable. He can be stopped, and that's, it looks like the Heat are doing quite a good job so far in stopping Johnson here tonight, at least in the first quarter.
At the same time, last week he was pretty much the whole half was Justin Howard. Justin Howard just eating the team alive, basket after basket. Now you can see there is diversity on the Malaysia lineup. They can hurt you from a number of different ways.
Well, they certainly had their hands full with Howard last week, and that's a three-point play for Lenny Daniel. We are tied at 19. The crowd's a lot more into it this week. Brickman bringing it up. Back Daniel tonight. Gottfried up and under. Goes left. Off rim. Daniel with the rebound, and he was fouled. So we're going to get the call. That was on Gottfried. So Calvin Gottfried's picks up the foul. So early, for the Dragons, early foul trouble for Godfrey, who has 2. Howard has 1. And we talked about Lenny Daniel last week, Harry, and he was all over the place last week and just seems to be doing the same thing here tonight.
He's an athletic specimen for sure, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a double-double before the first half is over.
So we are already in the penalty for the Dragons, as it'll be a 1+. It'll be 2 shots for Daniel. And he hits
It's not
the
even
first
out
one.
of the first quarter yet, and we're already in foul trouble.
Yeah, a lot of now, along with Wright.
Chikun Map.
Let's see. So we got Wright, Brickman. Top of the key, Morgan. A little long. Daniels skied for the rebound, and it was off the Dragons. So we got Brickman, Wright. We've got Johnson, Ma, and number 55, Quake Tianwan. Morgan taking it out from the left baseline. They want Harrison up top. Harrison, Creekmore from 10. That was long. So Johnson on Creekmore. Creekmore wants to bring Johnson out of the key. He can do that with his outside shot. Brickman, another three-point try. That's long. Daniel, just a beast on the glass. So another rebound by Daniel. Another foul by the Dragons. That is already the 6th foul of the game for the Dragons. And you like to see the Heat get in the line as often as they're doing right now, Harry.
Well, it gives your teammates confidence. They know if that ball rims out or goes off the board, Lenny's got it. No problem.
Lenny just got he's got some serious hops. So
he's got hops. He's got reach. He's an athletic guy.
And quite often you will see, as he hits the first free throw, you'll see Lenny Daniel lead the team with offensive rebounds as well as defensive rebounds. So his long arms and good hops gives him a huge advantage. Back rim, second free throw. So 21-19, 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Quake, top of the key against Daniel. And baseline. Back to down. Was on the line underneath the Saigon Heat basket. So Wright fell down there on the last play, uncontested. Daniel leaped over him, got the steal, and gave it out to Morgan, but Min had a foot on the line, so the Dragons take possession. Brickman likes to live beyond the three-point line, out to Wright. Good handles by Wright. Johnson against Creekmore. Just looking for room, goes up over him. So he's just using his weight, Harry. That's all he's doing.
If you're getting bumped by a guy who's 30 pounds bigger than you.
Yeah, it's hard to hold your ground, and I don't see a whole lot of finesse here by Johnson. And didn't Oliver Miller play similar to that?
Well, and Creekmore's not a small guy either.
Arnold went in, down the lane, thought he got fouled, lost the ball. Dragons on the other end, and that's Wright for 3.
Nice play.
Now you can see Wright just got ice in his veins. So Wright on the right side of the court, 3-point shot, puts the Dragons up by 1. Arnold out to Creekmore. Creekmore top of the key, bringing Johnson out from down low, and you can see the strategy. Down to Daniel, drives on Quake, off glass. Oh, he had no chance.
Made him look like a traffic cone. The guy was going nowhere.
He had no chance on that play against Daniel.
If Lenny Daniel gets that first step on you, it's over.
Quake wants to get one back, and he goes long. So that's the end of the first quarter. And you can see the early strategy, 25-24, Saigon Heat winning. You can see the early strategy for Coach Garbaletto is working, as a much better showing here tonight in the first quarter than last week against the Singapore Slingers. So what are some of the things that that are showing the true colors in terms of what's going on the
if you're not trailing the whole game. So last week they were playing catch up from the opening basket. This week you can exert more control when you're in the lead. It's simply how the game is played. Lenny Daniel playing smart, connecting on shots he might have missed last week. Lots of rebounds. He's eating up the basketball under the hoop.
Well, certainly it looked like the Saigon Heat were pressing a bit last week. Could be first game jitters. Offense out of sync, defense out of sync, but looking much better here tonight. Much better. And you can see the strategy is to keep Creekmore out top, take Johnson, who is guarding Creekmore, away from the middle of the court, and then going down with the post up with Lenny Daniel, no matter who's on him.
I'm going to say that if you've got a guy like Johnson occupying that much space, every now and then you're going to need someone to help out. If he moves one way, there's Daniel. He moves another way, there's Creekmore.
Absolutely. So Creekmore was guarding Daniel there towards the end of the game, or towards the end of the first quarter. And Daniel was just backing his big body into Creekmore. So not much you can do to hold your ground, but we'll see what Creekmore can come up with here.
Here's something funny is I can see the Malaysia bench has actually moved their chairs onto the court, most likely because the Rusty Bucket bad boys are so good at disrupting timeout, press conference, whatever. The guys brought rubber chickens and pig suits to last week's game.
Yeah.
So now you can see them dragging the chairs back to where they should normally be off courtside.
That's a huge advantage. I'm sure the only team in the league that has a section, a rah-rah rooter section like the Rusty Bucket group would be the Saigon Heat.
Pete from the Rusty Bucket came over and shook hands earlier. I'm sure they've Googled up every player, their tendencies, their favorite food, their favorite travel method.
Their favorite food, would that go for Reggie? Or are they going to be picking
that
on
would
Reggie?
be everything, I think. But
That's going to be picking on Reggie tonight. So start of the second quarter, Harrison Arnold was trying to get it to Lenny Daniel down low, and it was knocked out of bounds. Creekmore top of the key for three. A little bit long.
Big rebound off that one.
That's Brickman looking down low. Right back to Johnson, who's going to use his weight against Creekmore. And again, pushing his way down. Creekmore held his ground a little bit more. Right, top of the key on Morgan. Looking to reset Reggie Johnson. Can't. Over Lenny Daniel. Was right, and that one was off. So Morgan with the rebound. Morgan's going to slow it up. 25-24. Heat over to Dragons. Morgan was looking for Arnold. And that was a nice play by Brickman to come over and contest that pass on the wing. So you can see Brickman's very quick out there.
Yeah, David Arnold's going to have all of his wheels rolling tonight.
Daniel, another hoop. Right down the lane. Pretty easy.
That's one thing Singapore did well last week was neutralize Lenny Daniel, but he seems to be coming alive this game.
Well, it's going to be tough to neutralize this whole year for every team. That's Brickman top of the key three.
Another rebound.
Another rebound for Daniel. Viet Arnold got loose down.
Beautiful.
Got loose down near the basket, puts it off glass. So Viet Arnold snuck behind the defense. Now a 5-point lead. Right. Oh, beautiful move. But Morgan blocked it. That is a 3-point try, and that is good. That is Ma from three. Cuts the lead to two, 29-27.
Nice touch there by Ma.
Well, they've got some great local players as well. So Daniel's been all over the floor the first quarter and in here into the second quarter. As Viet Arnold wants it back from Morgan. Viet Arnold, top of the three.
Oh.
Top of the key three, and I don't think that one got rimmed, so if he was on the road, they'd be chanting air ball, but not here at home, that's for sure.
No, don't just, like I said, with the Rusty Bucket bad boys, even the most minor mistake, they're going to pounce on you. They're animals.
So Brickman top of the key, looking for Quake 55, who tried to give it and thought Johnson was cutting down the middle. And stolen back by the Dragons.
Need a bit more zip on that pass from Chung if you want to get Daniel on the fast break.
So number 11, Chung, was the one who got the pass stolen. That's in the corner. Again is Ma for 3. So he scored the last 2 buckets. Both have been threes. And now the Dragons up by 1, 30-29, with 7.5 to go here in the second quarter.
Miscues like that is what cost the Heat last week.
Well, they're only down by 1. Arnold off dribble. Driving. Kicks it out. Chung. Looking for Morgan. Morgan for 3. A little bit long. So Morgan had a good look, a little bit long. Brickman bringing it up. Back to Brickman. Drives. Chung. And it'll be a foul on the floor against Chung, number 11 for the Saigon Heat. His first foul of the game.
Chung, another veteran player. Played back in the old days when the games were out at Tan Binh near the airport. I remember him.
So Chung going out, Min coming back in, number 9. Morgan thought he was out, now coming back on the floor. Quake went out for Godfried, who's back on the floor for Quake. So we got YJ out to Brickman. Brickman top of the key. Ma again for 3. And that's a little bit short. So he's feeling it. But that one's a bit short. Creekmore the rebound and on to Morgan. Will cutting down the lane. Oh, great. Great recovery by Godfrey. Great recovery. Brickman driving. Morgan. That's Johnson the rebound. And we're going to get over the back foul from Creekmore on Morgan. Where else could you go, Harry, but over the back?
Creekmore is trying to plead his case, but it seems to be falling on deaf ears with the referee.
Well, there's nowhere to go but over the back on Johnson because it's hard to get in front of him. He's so big.
I was going to say, in the first quarter, Creekmore's actually done a pretty good job containing Reggie Johnson. And sooner or later, he's going to get his points.
Well, for a big guy, he's got some good stamina. You haven't seen him take a seat yet, and his conditioning is up there. He conditions a lot, riding the bike and doing some cardio with the trainer. So, I think it's in the Dragons' best interest to keep this guy on the floor because, he changes the complexity of the game. So Johnson swishes both free throws and puts the Dragons up 32-29 with 6.5 to go here in the second quarter.
Important for the Heat not to get into a panic. They're keeping the game close. Just don't make any miscues like last week.
Well, it was a lot closer than it was last week, so we're going to get our second timeout of the night from Coach Tony Garbaletto. First timeout was from the Dragons coach.
Again, those of you watching at home, we can see it here on the monitor. They've already moved their entire bench onto the court to get away from the taunts and jeering that the Rusty Bucket bad boys provide during the game. It's that home court advantage that teams either it intimidates them coming to play here, or they like that it's a noisy, boisterous arena, and it makes it feel like a big game every time.
Well, certainly the owners of the team, Connor Wynn and Henry Wynn, would like to see a better showing tonight, and they've gotten what they've asked for. And you could really see the Saigon Heat, in terms of competing this year against the other teams in the league, have just as good of a chance as any team to win it this year.
Without doing something right. So I would say right now, Dragons and Bangkok High-Tech City, the defending champs, are two of the toughest teams in the league. Saigon's doing a good job so far.
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, with the Heat, staying with the Dragons, I reckon that the Heat just, have just as good of a chance as anybody to win the title this year, and certainly Connor and Henry Wynn would love nothing more than that, and this community would just go absolutely wild if they did. So start out of the timeout, 32-29, Dragons over the Heat. About 6:15 left to go here in the second quarter. Arnold looking to shake on right. That's a little long. Daniel hustling, but cannot save it from going out of bounds.
Just out of his reach.
Well, Daniel's just got a clock that won't. It's got an engine that just won't quit. Just hustles. And for Coach Tony Garbaletto, you wish you had 5 Lenny Daniels. Reggie Johnson isolated against Creekmore. Creekmore out to right. Right likes that spot. And in and out. Daniel, another rebound. So you can see Wright's going to pose some problems for the Heat in terms of long-range shooting. Arnold looking for Daniel. Daniel isolated on Queck. He likes this matchup. Oh. And that's off rim. Johnson the rebound. Wright on the right side of the court. So he prefers his right hand over his left, but he's driving left. Nice pass into Johnson. Morgan against Johnson. So all Morgan could really do there was grab his arms, prevent him from going up with that shot. And he sort of did the job by preventing Johnson there from getting a 2+1.
I'd say you take your chances when you try to employ the hack-a-shack defense on the big men if they can't shoot. But seems like Johnson's been reasonable free throw shooter.
Well, he does have a nice touch at the free throw line. If you're getting to the free throw line that much, you'd have to think that one of the areas you want to work on your game is free throw shooting. It looks like he has. And he's always been a good free throw shooter, but much improved from last year, as he's 4 for 4 on the free throw front. Lead pushed back to 5, 34-29. Dragons over the Heat. 5:15 to go here in the second quarter.
That's one risk when you employ the we'll send him to the line mentality. If he sinks them, you're already out of foul.
Absolutely. He's not Shaquille O'Neal over there. He's pretty good at hitting his free throws. Charge, and that's going to be a blocking.
Yeah, that was a bit of a dive. He took a bit of a swan dive there.
Well, that's that looked like LeBron James. Or perhaps, the Premier League in England.
I've seen a few vines of Cristiano Ronaldo taking a spill after there's a girl soccer player who just got a cut over her eye and carried on through the blood. You don't want to see guys taking dives just to draw fouls.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
It's part of the game, I understand.
Absolutely.
And if he springs back up, he took a shot at it and didn't work out. That's okay.
But that certainly is in the favor of the Heat, because that's Godfrey's third foul, and he's going to go to the bench. So Viet Arnold, the face of the Heat, misses the first. So
you could tell he wanted that one back as soon as you let go of the ball.
So now in the penalty, there'll be one free throw and possession to the Heat. So 34-29, 5 minutes to go. So having Godfrey at 3 fouls, only 2 fouls away from fouling out, get him off the floor. The Heat got a real opportunity here to gain some momentum in this game. Viet Arnold, Morgan, a bit long. So we're still looking for Morgan to get his touchdown. Right, all alone, 3. And nothing but the bottom of the net for Wright. Wright's going to be a handful. He likes that spot. Min drives, poked away from behind by Brickman. Now to Morgan. Looking for Daniel, who seems to have the matchup here on number 13.
YJ.
A little bit long from Daniel. Weak side rebound from Creekmore. Daniel wrestles it away. Glasson, he's going to go to the line. Now it's a real question on who that is. So you could see that was on
Young Jin Kwan.
That was on Kwan. Young Jin Kwan. He did something real smart there, Harry. With Johnson already on 1 foul, didn't want him to get a second. Immediately raised his hand to take accountability for that foul. The ref agreed with him and gave him the foul.
That's good game awareness on the part of the Dragons.
Well, it is. I'm sure the coach just told him, look, if you're anywhere near Reggie Johnson and a foul is called, please raise your hand.
Is that lead blocking? What are we talking about? How would we phrase that?
Is it what, Harry? I'm sorry?
Lead blocking to take the foul on behalf of your big man?
Yeah, sacrifice, sort of maybe like a sacrifice bunt in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna call him YJ.
Yep.
Just easier for us. That's Daniel. Free throw, long. So he missed both. 8-point lead now for the Dragons. That was a nice pass from Brickman.
That was a pretty pass.
Right cut down low, baseline backdoor, and that was a set play off of the miss by Daniel from the Dragons. So you can see Brickman, his passing ability is fantastic. Wright's going to go to the line, and it looks like going to get our ball boy to wipe up a wet spot on the floor. Wright shooting 2. First one rattles around and in. You can see some of our main sponsors here tonight. Audi is one of them. Right hits both, pushes the lead to 39. So 10-point lead with 4 minutes to go. And Saigon Heat really got to get on their horses here, right, Harry? I mean, they got to get something going here and get a bucket.
It's almost like that 10-point lead just snuck up on them. It was much closer maybe 2 minutes ago, and now they're
Daniel
down
spin,
by 10.
lane. He spun in the lane and was a little bit short with the shot, but it was knocked out by the Dragons, and the Heat will get another chance. It looks like they're going to keep the shot clock at 14, as it did not touch a Dragons player in the Creekmore. Creekmore looking to face up Johnson. Creekmore wants to back Johnson in. Morgan, top of the key three. A little bit long, so Morgan's still trying to find his touch. Brickman pushes it. Right, wide open. 4-3, and that one's a bit long. So the pace of this game, and certainly look at the conditioning. And Min's a little bit long. Rebound Morgan, goes back up, rolls it in. So it's good to see Morgan get that hoop. Conditioning, I was saying, looks a little bit better than it was last week. Certainly have more legs under them than Heat. Brickman drives. YJ, left-hander, drives, loses it, rolled into Johnson, and he puts it off glass. And he's got really good hands down low, Harry.
It seems like every time Saigon tries to march up the court, just Malaysia's got an answer for them.
Well, they are one of the best teams in the league, and you see why, but we hope the Heat can keep up with them. That one's a little bit short from Arnold. Viet Arnold. Daniel drives, goes right at Johnson, and puts it right over him.
You need to do that more often.
Well, it's one area where he can beat Johnson is off the dribble. He's faster, and he jumps higher. So he can go right over him, and he can go right out around him, and he's been doing that.
If Lenny Daniel gets a step on you, it's over. There we go.
Viet Arnold to steal. He's got Min.
Come on.
Min.
Oh.
And he's going to get the foul called on Brickman. So number 5, Brickman, is called for the foul. Second on Brickman. Or Brickman is, you see Coach Tony Garbaletto talking to the assistant coach, David Singleton. Min.
Oh.
Has bounced around.
Every part of the rim except in.
The whole crowd exhaled on that one. They really need to stop the bleeding here. They need to get some hoops down, get some buckets in. Min hits the second one.
It just seems like their shooting's gone cold from the first quarter to the second.
Well, the lead has been cut down to 7, 41-34. 2:15 left to go here in the second quarter. Johnson wants Brickman. Brickman wants the 3. Brickman in and out. Morgan another rebound. Morgan's going to bring it up himself. So Daniel got position. Min drives. That should be a goal.
That's got to be a goaltend.
The refs are going to count it. Going to be 2 points.
Reggie Johnson's arguing that the ball was spinning around. I don't know how you make this argument. Looked like a goaltend to me.
Well, the ref's going to go over and talk to the Dragons coach. Yeah, they're going to try and sort this one out. But it looks like he's sticking to his guns.
If you want to get the crowd incensed, there's argue your goaltending call.
Well, it looked like a clear goaltending, Harry. I don't think there's any question about it. They can state their case, but the ref made the right call there.
I mean, when I played basketball, it was never an issue for me because I never got that high. But to me, it looked like a goaltend.
So that puts the lead at 41-36. So cut the lead in half from 10 points.
I'll follow the lead of my play-by-play man here and stand up and see the crowd in action.
Well, it's been a good turnout tonight. And once again, a packed house for the Saigon Heat home game here at the Canadian International School. And just taking a look around, people are happy. The Heat are in the game, and they got a chance to win this one tonight, Harry.
Got Mr. 30 out there. It really is one of the best game atmospheres in the league. If you come to a Saigon Heat game, you won't regret it.
That's right, Harry. I think right now one of the keys to the game has been the fouls. And if we're looking at the Westport Malaysia Dragons, they're already on about, looks like 9 total team fouls, where the Heat have only committed 7 total fouls. So Gottfried has 3 fouls for the Dragons, and most likely will not see him for the rest of the half here. So we are under 2 minutes and a minute 53 to go exactly. So we're hopefully going to cut down the lead here before the half ends. Dragons coming up.
For the Heat's shooting to go as cold as it has and only be down by 5, at least they're keeping it close.
Well, Chu, number 8 now in the game for the Dragons, out to right back out to Brickman. Chu on the wing. And a little bit long, and Creekmore, the rebound, puts it out on the. And let's see who that's off of. And that's going to be Dragons basketball. So a good effort by Morgan. We could see him really finding a little bit better rhythm than he did last week, Harry.
I worry he still kind of forces his shots, though. I think but once he gets the first basket out of the way, he calms down a bit, but he needs to get that early basket.
Absolutely. You'd like to see the Heat stop him here. And that is a fantastic play.
That's 2 in a row.
That is a double block. First one from Daniel. Next one from Creekmore. Huge shot here from Morgan. And a little bit long. Boy, that would have brought the roof down, Harry.
2 in a row.
Fast breakdown here on
Reggie
Chu.
Johnson.
As Chu, a little bit long. And that's going to be a foul on the Dragons. So that would have been a huge shot if Morgan hit it, Harry.
Creekmore's playing some solid defense this half.
Yes, we haven't seen him as much as last week. And most likely that's because Johnson's so big. So not a whole lot you can do offensively on Johnson except take him out of the key and perhaps shoot from long range. Arnold back to Daniel. Daniel jumper good.
They're giving Daniel a lot of space. I don't know why they're doing that.
But Daniel's having a fantastic first half. Fantastic. That's right, coming back down for 3. Little long.
Oh!
Rebound Morgan.
Oh, that
and
almost.
He took an absolutely unbelievable shot from Johnson, who's going to come over and apologize.
Johnson,
and
you
help
can tell,
him up.
feels bad about that one. He has to know he's a big guy. He has to know.
Yeah, he's not going to let up, that's for sure. He's just going for the rebound, and unfortunately, because of his weight, you're going to get some big-time collisions like that.
No, it wasn't a malicious foul by any stretch.
Absolutely not, Harry. So we are down to 29 seconds as Coach Tony Garbaletto wants to set up a play here. And, you know, you couldn't ask for a better end of the first half, which was, if you remember last week, Harry, end of the first half, it was stolen by the Slingers. They passed it to their center, Johnson, who dunked it at the end of the first half, pushing the lead to 10. And certainly this week, it looks like the Saigon Heat are doing to the Dragons what the Slingers did to the Heat last week.
It's not like the Slingers played an amazing game. They maintained their composure. Whenever the Heat would come down and score, they would answer, take 1 or 2 shots, and then you build a lead. The Heat couldn't chip away at it, and they ended losing 86-74.
So 12-point loss there for the Heat. Garbaletto, Coach Tony Garbaletto, bringing the team together for the huddle. We are done. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of play the Heat come out with here from the timeout, Harry.
And what we're saying right now, I'm sure Garbaletto's repeating it. He's saying, listen, we're compared to what we were at last week, we're only down by 3. A few shots connecting, and they're still in the lead. But they just got to have quality shots. You can't just force it.
So with the Dragons in the penalty, it'll be a free throw, 2 free throws for Morgan. First one up and in. So Coach Tony Garbaletto calling the timeout. He really wants to sort out or set the defense coming back because they do not want to give up an end of the half bucket like they did last week. So Morgan hits both. Cuts the lead down to 1. Brickman bringing it up. We're down to 25 seconds. Brickman trapped in the corner, out to right, top of the 3-point line. Rickman on the wing. They want Johnson. Johnson's going to take Creekmore. And he goes
reverse layup. My
Reverse
goodness.
layup for Johnson. Daniel, 3-2. Morgan, 3. Long. Johnson the rebound, and that will end the first half. So the score is 43 for the Dragons, 40 for the Heat. Fantastic half for the Saigon Heat, and they really got to be happy going into halftime down by 3, Harry.
I'd say when the shooting went cold, they caught them flat-footed, and they got maybe a 10-0 run in there somewhere in the second quarter. But to keep it 43-40, it's not a bad effort. They've contained Reggie Johnson, the big man. They just got to hit these shots, that's all.
Right, Harry, and I think when we come out for the second half, you're going to see the crowd a little bit more into it. And I think we're in gear for a heck of a second half coming up here.
D-Way coming to my school, personally, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
To be themselves, be confident and confident.
Other people to lead by example.
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, without you. And, going around and trying to, figure it out, man. And, we always try to leave an impact. And someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life, So I've been there before and I get it.
And one of the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy to step out and do something.
NBA dreaming, hopefully one day I can get there, watching the All-Star games and thinking that'd be cool, if I can make it there. And now I'm 11 years in consecutively. You try not to take it for granted. You try to, you understand that nothing is guaranteed.
Make your own way stands for it. Your way. Everybody's is different. Everybody got a different story. You might be from the same block, you might be from the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but everybody got a different path.
I think what Dwayne and Lee Ning are doing for these kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not afraid to sacrifice something that's cool for something that can have a positive effect on us.
D-Way coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's given back to me. Before he gave back to this room, it was really small. It looks excellently. That's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
What these kids get to learn in these moments, just how to put a ball in a hoop. They learn how to be themselves, be confident and confident.
Make your own way to me is kind of like paving your own path to greatness.
Be a leader, kind of follower.
To inspire other people to lead by example.
Need in the community, without you. And, going around and trying to, figure it out, man. And, we always try to leave an impact. Every time we come to a city, I know how important that is. It can be something small, man, just by seeing someone.
the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy to step out and do something that the next person.
Games and thinking that'd be cool, if I can make it there. And now I'm 11 years in consecutively. So granted, you try to, you understand that nothing is guaranteed to you.
That's what make your own way stands for. Your way. Everybody's is different. Everybody got a different story. You might be from the same block.
I think what Dwayne and Li Ning are doing for these kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not afraid to sacrifice something that's cool for something that positive effect on so many others, and most importantly, a younger generation.
Coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's giving back to me, like this room, really small. Now it just looks best. And D-Way coming to my school, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
What these kids get to learn in these moments, how to be themselves, be confident and competent in any area. They're coming.
Make your own way to me is kind of like paving.
Leader, kind of follower.
To inspire other people to lead by example.
Challenge, and going around and trying to figure it out, man. And we always try to. It can be something small, man. Just when coming to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life. So I've been there.
Coming through loud and clear. Remind everybody out there in online land, I'm Harry Hodge with my partner in crime, Mark Anthony, working the play-by-play magic.
Thank you, Harry. Mark Anthony with Double H Harry Hodge, here from Canadian International School, CIS in District 7 of Ho Chi Minh City. And players are going to be making their way back onto the court after the Hot Girls' fantastic performance as always.
You can see as the Malaysian players come on, they've got their domestic players have good size.
They are a big team, and the big
they get their local players involved. They've got all but 3 of their players came off the bench at some point during the first half. Saigon still needs time in the game against Singapore, but so far it's been Min and Chung. And outside of those 2 guys, they've got a lot of rested legs waiting to go maybe make their mark.
They do, and you got to wonder though. But after last week's game, not the best showing by the team. In particular, they didn't get much off the bench, and you got to wonder if Coach Tony Garbaletto, obviously, you want to go 8-9 deep, but based on last week's experience, might want to pare that down to about 6 or 7 deep for tonight's game.
I can see David Arnold there coming out, giving Chung a few instructions. I gotta expect he's gonna get see some more minutes here in the second half.
Well, let's hope he does, and hopefully he can produce. And if we're looking at the stats for the Dragons, Matthew Wright is
Quý vị và các bạn thân mến, chúng ta vừa theo dõi xong 2 hiệp đấu đầu tiên của trận đấu giữa hai câu lạc bộ Saigon Heat và Westports Malaysia Dragons. Và kết thúc 2 hiệp đấu đầu tiên này thì hiện tại Saigon Heat đang tạm bị dẫn trước với tỷ số 43-40. Nhưng cả hai đội đều đã cống hiến 2 hiệp đấu rất hấp dẫn. Và trước khi đến với 2 hiệp đấu tiếp theo thì chúng ta sẽ gặp gỡ lại huấn luyện viên trưởng của câu lạc bộ Westports Malaysia Dragons, ông Arian. Hello, Mr. Arian. How do you think about the player performance in two first quarters? And in the two first quarter, the player number 40 make 3 individual fouls. Does it affect to your formation in two remaining quarters?
Yes, it created matchup problems for us. The Heat is a very good team, so we cannot relax. We cannot take them for granted. We must play our head. We must play our A game. The crowd's behind them, and this is our first away game, so we must be ready. It's a game of runs.
Vâng, như đã nói ngay từ lúc ban đầu thì ông Arian đánh giá rất cao câu lạc bộ Saigon Heat. Ông cho rằng các cầu thủ Saigon Heat là những cầu thủ thi đấu rất tốt và họ đã thể hiện những điều đó trong hiệp đấu đầu tiên. Và việc cầu thủ mang áo số 40 đã mắc đến 3 lỗi cá nhân cũng sẽ gây ra không ít khó khăn đối với lối chơi của câu lạc bộ Westports Malaysia trong hiệp 2, bởi vì anh là cầu thủ thi đấu phòng ngự và ngăn cản tối đa những sự tấn công của câu lạc bộ Saigon Heat.
For the Dragons, Ariel Vanguardia, given the ins and outs of the second half strategy, but doesn't want to reveal too much. Harry doesn't want to reveal too much in those interviews, so certainly very confident in his team's ability to finish this one out here in the second half.
Well, you don't make it to the finals by accident. A lot of hard work goes into that. Bangkok came out on top last year, but Malaysia Westports Dragons are definitely a competitive team.
Well, Saigon Heat only down by 3 here, beginning of the second half, and they got a real shot at winning tonight's game. So, final instructions for Coach Tony Garbaletto. And we are going to get ready to start the second half of basketball. Dragons and the Heat. Well, last week was Halloween, Harry. I think it's a little bit more normal here tonight in terms of the dress code.
It was also a bit frightful for the Saigon Heat fans for a few reasons. Miscues and Lenny Daniel taking a few hard shots. This weekend, if nothing else, has been a more focused effort, less miscues. Just had a cold streak there in the second quarter, and it cost them.
It did, and Halloween can be a scary night.
It can be, for sure.
Made it a lot more scary with the Heat's performance.
Traffic was scary afterward the game, my goodness.
Certainly have done much better this week and look like a different team. So we're starting the second half. Dragons with possession. Godry down to Johnson, and an easy first two.
Wasting no time.
No time at all, Harry is. Dragons push the lead to 5, 45-40. So that took about 5 seconds to get on the board here in the second half for the Dragons. Min drives, runs right into Johnson, flips it up. Didn't even come close. Brickman pushing the action. Out to Godfrey.
Oh.
In to Johnson. Send it in, Reggie. So he can get up there, even though he weighs 300 pounds. He will put it home.
He's got wingspan, too. When you're 6'10", he doesn't have to jump too high. But he gets up there, and he was all alone. There was no one in front of him.
Viet Arnold back out to Daniel. Daniel drives Creekmore, top of the key for 3. Off rim. Gets his own rebound.
Beautiful play. Great play by Creekmore.
What hustle. What hustle by Creekmore. Salt was going to go off right rim.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. Ran in, got it, threw it off of Johnson, and got possession back. So play clock will stay at 14. Viet Arnold, top of the three-point line, gets the pick. And that one was poked away by Wright from behind. Wright down all alone.
Oh.
And they are going to call foul on Creekmore. So Creekmore a bit incredulous with that call, as he didn't think he committed the foul. That's his second on Will Creekmore. You see, Wright's been a problem the whole game. He's getting down past the defense. He's shooting it for 3. He's getting to the line a lot, and just been a good player for the Dragons here tonight. Misses the first free throw.
If you want to succeed in this league, the quality of the ASEAN players is key to you making it to the finals.
Absolutely, Harry. Second one is no good as well. Creekmore with the rebound. Daniels banging down low against Queck. Nice pass by Arnold. Gets it into Daniels, who goes off glass with the right hand. Really threaded a needle on that pass.
And a pretty finish on that play by Lenny Daniel.
Brickman's going to be fouled away from the basket by Min. So Min's trying to keep up with Brickman, and that's easier said than done. Because Brickman can really fly. He is the fastest guy in the team for the Dragons. Brickman goes left, down the Godfrey, guarded by Daniel. Working Daniel down low, short with the right-handed hook. David Arnold wants to push it. Morgan out to Min for three. And that one's off front rim. Min gets his own rebound. And we're going to get called for traveling there by Min. He did do a little bit of dance, but Coach Garbaletto's asking for foul on the Dragons even
I'm
before
inclined to
that
agree
travel.
with Coach Garbaletto on this one.
Well, it looked like that drives.
Oh, a little too much
hard.
mustard on that one.
A little bit strong. Wright bringing it back for the Dragons. Wright, nice pass to Brickman. Blocked by Creekmore as Brickman tried to go under the rim. Stolen by Daniel. He's all alone.
Let's go, Lenny.
Look out.
Oh, brutal. That'll energize the crowd. Make it the Thunderdome.
Great anticipation there by Lenny Daniel. Two-hand slam. And that got the crowd back into it. Johnson. Daniel coming over to help. Hook shot by Johnson, no good. Godfrey got it back. Daniel dives to save it.
It's a block party for Will Creekmore today.
They're letting him play down low, that's for sure. Daniel hit the floor hard.
That you don't want to see.
Oh,
Shades of last week. He's back up. He's back up.
Well, you got to expect to see that a couple times a game from Lenny because he just plays so hard. He's going to take a few knocks here and there. And we like to see him get back up. So Dragons with possession. Right. Looking to get the screen from Johnson. Does. Drives. A little bit long. Morgan the rebound, but they're going to rule that his foot was on the line as he got possession of that ball.
Coach Garbaletto not too pleased with that one.
Johnson looking to take it on Creekmore. Johnson with the hook, that's no good. Gets his own rebound. We're going to get a call before. It's going to be a no call by the refs as Gottfried and Daniel hit the deck together. That basket's going to count, 49-44. Dragons lead.
Oh. Not on the same page with that pass.
Nope, they weren't, Harry. A little bit of miscommunication between Morgan and Daniel. And that was a big possession. We're down to 6:45. And if you go either way, it's a 5-point lead. So one more bucket by the Dragons, and it gets up to 7. On the other side of things, one more bucket by the Heat gets you down to 3. So Brickman for 3. And that's
pretty
good.
He has a smooth stroke.
Does have a smooth stroke, and it is now an 8-point lead. So exactly as I was talking about, you either get it down to 3, which is one possession, or it goes up to 7 or 8. And they were really, could have gone either way there. And Brickman hit the clutch 3. So Godfrey comes over, knocks it out of bounds. So huge possession here for the Heat as they really need to get a bucket. Daniel, top of the key. And he likes this matchup and has all night against Queck. That's Min into the middle.
Into traffic.
Yep, he's trying to get it into Creekmore, and it was knocked out.
Yeah, the last thing you want is for Malaysia to go on another run.
Well, that wouldn't be good. Shot clock at 6. So got to get a quick shot. Daniel, turnaround jumper, glass. A little bit long. Daniel certainly thought that he was fouled on that play. Brickman coming up at 100 miles an hour. Tipped away. And we're going to get a foul on the floor. I don't know what this call is, but it is an interesting call. This is an interesting call, and I'm going to have to disagree with it. They're going to call
Is that
foul.
the ref slowed things down because of a spot on the floor?
It looks like they haven't.
Disrupted the whole fast break.
Well, I don't know, Harry.
I think those of you on the internet can hear the reaction of the crowd to that one.
It wasn't a foul. It was the referee stopping the game because a few players did fall in that area on the previous play. And
it just doesn't look good when you're on a fast break and your home team is down.
Well, Harry, I think he made the right call.
Safety first, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Coach Garbaletto hates to see that. They did have numbers on that fast break. They did have a good chance to score, but on the other side of that, if somebody hits that wet spot and breaks the leg, it could ruin somebody's career. So a good call by the referee to stop play there.
Everyone's always second-guessing the referees at home, but there's a reason why they make these decisions.
That's Morgan top of the key for 3. And that is a huge basket.
Morgan's excited. I can see it.
For Morgan, you can see him chopping it up a little with right. A little bit of trash talking between Wright and Morgan. That cuts the lead, 52-47. The Dragons over the Heat. Daniel comes around the back. Godfrey to try and steal that. Goes out of bounds on Daniel. Shot clock at 13.
That's another thing Daniel's been good at this week is going for the ball instead of the man.
He is.
Staying out of foul trouble.
Brickman trying to put the moves on Arnold. Brickman drives left. We'll get the. Well, it looks like going to be a foul on the Dragons, so it's going the other way. There's a foul on Quick, so moving screen. Quick was setting the screen for Brickman. Didn't have his feet set. He was shuffling his feet, so it's going to be a moving screen on Quick. And a huge stop there. Beat Arnold. Backdoor Morgan. Reverse.
Beautiful.
And in. What a fantastic pass from Beat Arnold. Right coming back.
That last basket's how you draw it up in practice.
Morgan the rebound. Beat Arnold. Creekmore. Mid for 3. And oh, brother. That one went up into the crowd. What a block by Godfrey.
Calvin Godfrey wants to set the tone on his end of the court. Oh,
Morgan getting the fans pumped up behind the basket.
It doesn't take much to get this crowd excited.
This is a good game, Harry, tonight. Creekmore, top of the key, Arnold. Arnold wants to put the moves on right. Pick by Creekmore. We're going to get a foul down low. It's going to be Quake again on Lenny Daniel. Quake fouls Daniel. That's Quake's third. Daniel's going to go talk to the ref and say, hey, this guy's all over me. And it ain't funny.
Godfrey's been quietly putting together a good game, too.
He's had a massive block there on that last play against Min. So it is 52-49. Dragons leading the Heat. 4:55 to go here in the third. Creekmore, top of the key. Morgan wants the 3. Morgan.
Oh.
Just off the rim. Daniel!
Beautiful.
And the foul.
Just hanging there in midair to the last possible second and just drops it in smooth.
Oh, he floated on that one. And looks like Daniel.
Taking a timeout. Malaysia's taking a timeout.
We are going to get a timeout. Looks like Daniel landed on his leg a little bit wrong there. And they want to give him some time and rest before he goes and tries to tie the game with the free throw. So what a fantastic play by Lenny Daniel, getting the rebound and then hanging in the air as he drove middle of the key, got the bucket and the foul. We're talking about the Rusty Buckets Club, Harry. I see a Stephon Curry jersey over there.
You would have to name drop the Warriors. I don't know what it is. There's a few Canadians over there. I don't know why they don't get the Raptors gear going. I don't know.
You were saying last week, let's keep the Warrior rhetoric to low, but we got a Curry jersey over there. And that's old school.
When you're on top of the game, people are going to buy your jerseys. I'm not going to lie. But you can see what it does. It disrupts what Malaysia likes to do. They've played in this gym before. They know how the Rusty Bucket guys can get in your ear and disrupt things during your timeouts, during your trying to pull plays. Just move the chairs onto the court during your timeout.
Absolutely.
It's actually quite shrewd. I can
in the
see what
huddle.
they're doing.
You're getting a live look at Coach Tony Garbaletto drawing up the play after the free throw from Lenny Daniel. And you can just see the confidence right now, the Saigon Heat.
It is just a turnaround from last week for sure.
Absolutely, Harry. Confidence right now, it's so different. The team vibe, the team mood is so different from last week. And it's just a real joy to see a game like this. And we knew they had it in them, and we're seeing it here in the second half.
And a key is nice to see a team not get down on themselves when they're trailing. You know,
Well, you got to credit Coach Tony Garbaletto for that.
Believe they can come back, believe they can chip away at the lead, and now they're back to within one.
Well, I think a big part of it, Harry, is, Coach getting the players to believe in themselves, to believe in each other, to believe in the system that's in place here and what they're trying to accomplish. And that's part of the equation. The coach needs to get the players to believe on what's happening, on the court at practice, and just the whole system that Coach Tony Garbaletto is trying to put in place here. And you are seeing that a little bit tonight. Much different team here tonight.
See Nguyen Tan Nguyen taking the free throw on behalf of Lenny Daniel. I guess he's going to get a breather.
That's a bit of a concern. So Daniel should be coming out for this free throw.
I can see him from our vantage point here on the bench, and he's doesn't seem to be, wincing in pain or anything. Hopefully he'll be back sooner than later.
We got Gary Zook over there working on him.
Gary
That's
Zuko,
a three-point play for Nguyen. We are tied at 52.
Zuko, the trainer, also ailing from a practice injury himself. Hope he's going to do better.
Yes, sir. Brickman, top of the key, tied up. 4:30 to go here in the third. Godfrey, back out to Brickman. And that one's long. Brickman's going to run down his own miss. Down low, Godfrey, off the hands of Yvonne. Yvonne out to Wright. Wright wants the corner three. Godfrey, another rebound. Godfrey wants to take it himself now. Missed it. Johnson, the rebound. We're going to get a foul on the floor.
That sequence right there, you can see where they're missing Lenny Daniel's presence.
Oh, absolutely.
They would have gotten that rebound. One of the 2 or 3 putbacks that they wound up getting for the Malaysia Dragons.
That's going to be on the floor foul. That's going to be on Nguyen, who just tied the game up with the free throw. Yeah.
And it looks like Nguyen's clutching his back a little bit there. They're going to have to sub somebody else in. Bring in
We're going to
number
get another
10.
substitution as Tin is going to come in for Nguyen.
Chan Tin Tin. First time I've seen him get some minutes here this season.
So it looks like Nguyen hurt his back. Now we got 2 ailing players now for the Heat on the sidelines. And we're talking about getting deep into the Heat's roster. We are. We've got
Nguyen, one of the guys that Garbaletto got from the national team this summer.
Godfrey. That should be a charge. Let's see what the call is. And that's Creekmore taking the charge.
Creekmore's fired up, you can tell.
Oh, he is fired up. Fantastic play. And guess what? That's Godfrey's 4th foul. He's going to the bench.
And now the Rusty Bucket bad boys are letting him know about it too. Don't worry.
So I think Godfrey, we might only see him now, Harry, in the end of the fourth quarter or the second half of the fourth quarter, because he's on the precipice right now. He gets one more, he's out.
That would be a big blow for them to lose him.
Well, Daniel's coming back out after Zook worked on him. Zook now working on Nguyen. So Zook's been busy today. Gary Zook, our trainer. And Daniel's coming back in for Tin and gets a roaring applause from the crowd. So crowd very happy to see Lenny Daniel back on the floor.
He's not running gingerly either. It looks like he's doing okay.
Looks like he is all right, Harry. Viet Arnold brings it up. Tie game 52. 4 minutes to go here in the fourth. Morgan drives. Rebound, Creekmore. Poked away. Ma bringing it down. Ma wants the 3. That's off rim. And a bad pass by Creekmore. He's got to get back. And he gets another rebound. That should be a foul. And it is going to be a foul on Ma. Boy, he's working hard down low, Creekmore.
Creekmore's getting his boards tonight, no doubt.
He's just working his butt off. And the crowd's showing him their appreciation for the hustle. You got to love this crowd. Got to love it. They desperately want to win the night, Harry. They desperately want it.
Tied 52 all, a much different complexion to the game than what we saw last week.
Boy, look at the fouls for the Dragons compared to the fouls for the Heat. Godfrey's got 4. Johnson's got 4. Quake's got 3. Creekmore, the first free throw, in and out. So chance to take the lead has been denied, but he's got one more. You'd like to see him mentally, psychologically hit this free throw to see on the scoreboard that they're winning the game. And Creekmore does just that.
It is a big boost to come back from 10 down and go surge back into the league in the third quarter.
The Heat come out with man-to-man. Wright driving. Looks for Johnson. Was tipped by Creekmore. Wright got it back. And
Lenny Daniels arguing a travel with some shuffling of the feet there, but the ref's not having it.
Boy, look at Coach Garbaletto. He's steaming over there. He's not happy. Wright's going to go to the line for 2.
Having a chat with David Arnold, letting him know his opinion.
Wright hits the first, ties the game at 53, and we are 3:26 to go here in the third quarter.
Fans trying to get in his ears.
And missed the second, still tied at 53. Daniel, yet another rebound.
That's the sixth man.
Well, they got numbers here. 3-on-2. Morgan wide open for 3. Off back rim. Creekmore the rebound. Getting hassled there. Daniel lost it. That's spurred out to Arnold. He missed it. So a couple of good opportunities there. And I'm unable to take advantage. I think Brickman's just absolutely out of control on that drive. How the referee can call that foul is beyond me, and that's just a bad foul. That's a bad call by the referee.
Just looked like he was recklessly flailing into the lane.
Well, Brickman was he was flying through there like Superman, out of control. Superman with a broken wing. Familiar chant.
I don't want to repeat what the crowd is saying, but
we heard
salty.
that last week, so it looks like
you heard it before,
event.
but you didn't hear it from me. I keep this clean.
That's good, Harry. Hockey, that's a hockey background, huh?
Yeah, well, they still say some of those words. I just won't repeat them for the young, impressionable minds listening right now.
Brickman hits the first, and the Dragons will take the 1-point lead. And Brickman hits the second. So 2-point lead for the Dragons, 55-53. They got Arnold all alone. He's going to bring it back out to Daniel. Good job to slow it up. Morgan on the corner for 3. And that one's a little long. So they've been struggling from three-point land. Brickman coming up, pushing the action. Queck a little bit long off glass. Min's pushing the action down the other side. Arnold. Viet Arnold drives. And kicked off his leg. Morgan on the wing. Creekmore back to Arnold, wide open for 3. Yeah,
pretty play. Takes back the lead, and the crowd's loving it. They're banging drums. Hot girls are jumping around. The crowd's loving it.
That was a clutch 3 by Arnold. 1-point lead for the Heat. Backdoor Quake. Quake puts it out to Ma. Ma a little bit long. Back out to Brickman. Brickman drives. Johnson got position. Creekmore challenging him, got it back, put it back in. So Johnson just had position on that particular play, not much he can do.
I think the key is to understand Johnson's going to get his points. Just try to limit them.
Boy, Arnold got trapped there in the corner by a couple Dragons players, was trying to fight his way out. Did.
They're definitely playing a more swarming defense this quarter.
A little bit of pressure here being applied by the Dragons.
Coming in bunches. 3 guys crowding the ball.
So possession to the Heat. 57-56, 1:39 here left in the third quarter. So a lot of lead changes in this quarter, and exactly the type of game. Almost stolen. Brickman, that's chunked for 3, and play's been stopped. There's been a foul called. Let's check this one out. We're going to get an offensive foul there on Lenny Daniel.
A push on Lenny Daniel.
Well, I think the Rusty Bucket group's got a lot to complain about tonight, Harry.
Well, they've got a bar. I'm sure they'll be talking about it lots afterwards over there.
Oh, they sure will. Which bar is that, Harry?
The Rusty Bucket. But we may make our way over to pitchers tonight after the game. I'm gonna go head out, have a drink there after the game. A Coca-Cola.
So for all of those of you looking for a little action after the game, Pitchers Bar and Grill. Corner 3, right, a little bit short. Arnold drives. Morgan to Daniels.
Beautiful.
Yeah!
With authority. He put that one down with authority.
Brickman, top of the key. Didn't even touch rim. Off the Dragons. Back to the Heat. 1 point lead.
And that's one thing you got to figure the Dragons don't want to do is let the crowd back into the game because it gets deafening in here.
This crowd's getting, the decibel levels are getting up now. We didn't see this in the first game, but we're certainly seeing it now. Off to Creekmore. And that's off rim as he ran right into Johnson. Perhaps talking to the ref as he comes back down the floor, stating his case that was a foul. Right down to Johnson. Creekmore battling with Johnson.
Out it
And
goes.
off the hands of Ma, another turnover for the Dragons.
And maybe they've got them on their heels a little bit there, Mark.
It looks like they do, Harry, and it looks like the crowd's a lot more. Is a lot louder than it was last week.
They're a vocal bunch. They're very vocal.
Morgan left, back down the Creekmore, side of the key, drills it. 3 point lead. Exactly 24 seconds to go, so the shot clock and the game clock are even. So this should be the last shot of the third quarter as Brickman's going to hold it up. Boy, what a 60-57. The Heat up by 3. Ma back out to Brickman. Little perimeter passing here. Brickman wants the pick. Ma, three-pointer. Tipped up by Johnson. Are they going to count it? Are they going to count it? Refs congregating. Don't know if it counts yet. And they will count it. So 60-59. And Carboletto looking for some sympathy here.
Carboletto's still got to like that his team has managed to squeak out a lead heading into the fourth.
Boy, what a fantastic third quarter there by the Saigon Heat. Down by 3 at half, up by 1 here at the end of the third quarter.
So what do you tell them going into the fourth?
Well, they certainly have a chance, Harry. They are playing with the Dragons and more than holding their own. The Dragons are one of the best teams in the league, and it's really satisfying to see that this group can hang with one of the better teams in the league.
One thing I can see is both Lenny Daniel just had his 4th foul, it looks like, as well as Calvin Godfrey's also in foul trouble. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with those guys' minutes.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Lenny Daniel and Godfrey do come out for the beginning of the fourth quarter. That last offensive foul on Daniel was his 4th, Harry. You're right. So something to monitor there for the fourth quarter.
I got to think Lenny doesn't want to foul out 2 games in a row, 2 games into the season. You're a lot more productive on the court.
So third quarter stats, end of the third quarter stats. Fresh off the Daniels 11 rebounds. Next leading scorer would be David Harrison Arnold with 10 points. And Moses Morgan with 9. What's going on the Dragon side, Harry?
He's been shooting the 3 more than some of his teammates. We've got Reggie Johnson with 25 points, 15 rebounds. So, I mean, the big man is we're getting his money's worth tonight.
He is. So Johnson looking to go 30-20 perhaps, which would be just a huge game. 30 points, 20 rebounds. And the Heat doing everything in their power to prevent that.
These world players also see a lot of minutes. When you invest a lot in bringing a guy over from the States, from Canada, from Europe, you're going to expect production. And so all these world players, some of them don't even get off the court.
Start of the fourth quarter, Creekmore. Corner of the free throw line, nails it. 62-59. Let's keep it going. Brickman, right, looking for the 3. Yvonne out to Ma. Ma back to Yvonne. And eventually making their way down to Johnson. That's going to be a foul. And let's.
Was that on Johnson?
We're trying to figure out who that was on there. No word yet. I don't think it was a foul. Perhaps he was out of bounds. So he get the ball back nonetheless.
Johnson, if it wasn't Johnson, he got away with one because that would have been his last.
Daniel looking corner. And stepped out of bounds. So
that's number 5, Chung, To Kwang Chung, who started last week's game.
So Chung was making the move, got the pass in the corner, was making his move and stepped out of bounds. So pretty tough turnover to take there, and Coach Garbaletto obviously not going to be happy.
It does speak to the development of the domestic players, though. I mean, if you saw this team 2 years ago, you weren't getting any minutes for the Vietnamese guys.
They definitely have held their own here tonight, and it's a real joy to watch the growth of the players. Godfrey, Johnson, got it. 62, 61. And then just wherever that offense starts, Harry, they're working it around to eventually try and get it into Johnson.
But if they get a good look, they don't agonize. They'll take a shot.
Daniel in the Creekmore, who's got Johnson. Harrison, shake and bake. Oh, and it got stuck on the top of the rim. So that's going to be Dragon's ball.
Just thunk. Everything just grinds to a halt when that happens.
Like Velcro. But I guarantee you, folks, there ain't no Velcro on that rim. So Dragons possession, 1 point lead for the Heat. Exactly 8:40 to go. Here in the fourth, Wright. And drains it. Huge, huge three-pointer for Wright. 64-62. Min back in the game. Creekmore from 3. Can he get the rim? No. Almost got the roll there. Wright bringing it back up. Wants the one-on-one. Drives. Got it. And you can see Wright, as he came down, he just waved Godfrey off, says, nah, I got this one. This is mine.
Got good touch.
Fantastic move by Wright. Morgan wants to go on Wright. Can't find any room. Back to Viet Arnold. Viet Arnold drives. Baseline. Bad pass. Wright's going to run this one down. Morgan is back. Tips it away. That's a fantastic defensive effort there from Morgan. The crowd's going to let him know about it. He was down 2-1. Two men to one. It was 2 Dragons players and himself. And he was able to stop that advance. Crowd really, you were talking last week, Harry, about the IQ, basketball IQ. And, the Vietnamese crowd really know their basketball.
My first year, 2012, when these guys were out just running around the court in Tan Binh near the airport, the crowd would kind of cheer for any basket. They're just kind of happy to see something new in town, but they've studied the league.
Godfrey from the top of the three-point line. No good. Brickman the rebound. Goes through the legs of Daniel.
Creekmore goes down.
And we're going to look here if that's going to be a three-point play. It's the foul and the free throws. You got Creekmore up.
That's Creekmore's fourth as well.
So timeout for Coach Tony.
What you were saying before, though, the basketball IQ has definitely risen considerably since the first season. No doubt about it.
Well, that was a tough series right there as Brickman drove and threw between the legs of Daniel. Got it to Johnson, who got the bucket and the foul.
That's what seems to happen as the Heat get back into the game, even take a lead, and then Malaysia keeps their cool, build back up a 6-point lead.
So we are seeing a lot better effort from the Saigon Heat this week. They really need to watch a couple of their big players right now for the Heat. Creekmore and Daniel both have 4 fouls, and it's real tentative right now. I think it's a precarious lead, obviously, for the Dragons, but the situation right now for the Heat with both of their top players with 4 fouls, either one of them gets a foul, it will change the whole complexion of this game. Lead. for the Dragons over the Heat. 7:30 to go here in the fourth quarter. Crowd desperately hoping something good can happen. Stolen by Godfrey. Drives on Daniel. In and out. Right to follow. In and out. Daniel the rebound. And a bad pass. Bad pass. Right, looking for Godfrey. Got the hoop.
And that affects how Daniel's going to play, as he's playing to not foul. He's playing to put his arms up but not to go after it.
Well, that was a pivotal turnover there by Daniel. It was just a bad pass. Beard Arnold drives, sees a hole, flips it up. Fouled by Johnson. That's his fourth.
Arnold taking a bit of a ballet move there, but he got it shooting. Now he's going to the line.
Fourth on Johnson. And that now puts Johnson and Godfrey in foul trouble. So very interesting what we're seeing this week, Harry. We're seeing both of the best players on both teams getting into foul trouble. And really, it could go either way as Arnold hits the first three. It could go either way.
And if one fouls out, that's going to affect how the other plays.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see who the first one
and
fouls.
which one fouls out first could affect the complexion of the game.
Absolutely. So that's the plot thickens here at CIS, Canadian International School, for our game between the Dragons and the Heat. Brickman. He's got Godfrey isolated on Daniel. Daniel back out to Brickman. Brickman drives. It's just the drive and dish to Johnson. Off glass. Garbaletto's looking for a walk or something.
And you can see with Creekmore as well. Creekmore's not trying to go after it the way he might if he had 3 fouls.
10-point lead for the Dragons. 73-63, 6:15. Beard Arnold, Min, Morgan. Creekmore. Got it.
Shot.
Jumper from Creekmore from 10 feet. Cuts the lead to 8. 6 minutes to go. Brickman, top of the three-point line, a little bit long. Rebound, Morgan got pulled away from Brickman. Morgan falls on it.
Jump ball.
And we got a timeout by, well, look. Jump ball, yeah, you're right, Harry. Jump ball, possession to the Heat. Looked like Creekmore was asking for a timeout, didn't get it. Instead, they got possession, or they had the possession arrow. The Heat did, so it's Heat ball. So 8-point lead with 5:45. They're allowing Morgan to bring it up here and set the offense. And number 11.
Coach Garbaletto having a spirited chat with the referee on the sideline.
He's still a little bit upset. Still a little bit upset on that last play. And the ref just telling him to, hey, keep it shut.
Coach Garbaletto doesn't mince words.
No, he doesn't. He's not happy with the way this game has been called. Morgan, jumper, no good. Arnold flies for the rebound. Arnold shake and bake. Looking to go behind his back. Daniel, and we're going to get a foul on Daniel. And
that's Quick. Looks like
that
Quick got
foul's
the
on
YJ.
Quick.
That was on YJ.
So that's Quake's. YJ, that is YJ's foul. That is his second. Daniel for 2. 8-point deficit. First is up. And those missed free throws just kill you, Harry. They just absolutely kill you.
He's been to the league. He's been to the free throw line at least 10 times, and he's only made 4 of them.
We'll work on that. We know Lenny is a hard worker, and
there's one.
Gets the second. Cuts the lead to 7. 73-66. 5:10 to go here in the fourth quarter. So no rush for the Dragons right now. They want to wind it down, wind the 24-second clock down as much as they can.
Oh, that's a nice alley-oop.
Right to Godfrey.
Pretty play.
It was pretty. He got the backdoor screen from his teammate on the alley-oop. Puts the lead back up to 9. Daniels drives. Tip back.
Oh, they're calling the... I worried for a second there I'm going to see a goaltend.
Daniel took a spill in the corner there.
The basket counts.
They're going to count the basket and the foul. So very fortunate here for the Heat. Daniel's still on the ground there by the BS Saigon. So
He's a little groggy. He looks a little groggy.
Well, I told you I tell you, the trainer, Gary Zook, he's probably, it looks like he hurt his arm there, Gary. So he's probably feeling it worse than most of the players here tonight. But kudos to Gary Zook. It doesn't matter, rain, snow, injury, he's going to be there for the game. So
Proud Calgary guy right there. And I asked him about the facial hair today, and he said it's Movember. So I said, fair enough.
I need to grow my mustache as well.
I would try, but it never works out. Wife hates it.
Peach fuzz, stuff like that.
Got kind of a Fu Manchu thing happening. I just give up. It's not worth it for me or the public.
Maybe I should grow one here before the end of November. That would be probably take me a couple days.
You could work it for the whole booth. You could represent both of us. I'd like to say it looks good on me, but some looks just don't.
Creekmore trying to complete the three-point play and does. So 6-point lead, 4:40 to go. And the foul issues and the foul troubles of many of the players on the floor is what we're looking at right now. Godfrey from Brickman. Back to Godfrey, left hand up and in. So
it does become a bit of a chess match when you've got everybody like one foul away from ejection.
Godfrey having a huge second half. One of the reasons why the Dragons are up by 8. That's Harrison Arnold. Drove the lane and did the little finger roll. Cuts the lead down to 6. Three-point try and in. That was Wong for 3, and that was a huge shot.
High arc on that one. It's like an NFL punt.
Pushes the lead to 9. Morgan wants to answer. And does.
He does.
Six-point lead. Nice answer there by Morgan. Double digits this game. Double digits in scoring. Brickman off of Wong's hand and took his eyes off the ball. And it is Heat ball. So 3.5, 3:22 exactly to go. And I can't think of a bigger possession than right now, Harry.
That could be the spark they've been looking for.
This is a huge possession for the Heat. And Morgan brings it up with Wong on him. Min into Creekmore. Has an open look. Creekmore hits it.
He's excited.
12-footer by Creekmore. He pulled Johnson out. Shot it right over him. Down by 4. They want to do the give and go with Johnson. And they're looking for the travel as Johnson was bobbling that ball as he was heading down towards the middle of the key.
Calling the push on Morgan.
Instead, the foul is going to be called on Moses Morgan, as Harry has mentioned.
A non-shooting foul.
And that's Morgan's 4th personal. So the 3 top players for the Heat all have 4 fouls right now. So we've got a real barn burner here tonight. Godfrey. No call by the refs. Daniel falls to the floor. Gets the rebound out to Viet Arnold. And he's going to go. Left-handed.
And the crowd goes nuts.
Whoa,
you can see them jumping out of their seats right now.
The crowd is on their feet. It is a 2-point lead with 2.5 to go. They're not Jimmy jacking around. And they want Johnson. Brickmore drives, missed it. Daniel the rebound. Coming out, and
that
a
was
bad
an
pass.
ill-advised pass.
They're going to look and see if that was deflected.
He's saying he
Call
got
from the refs.
tapped.
We're going to get a 20-second timeout from Coach Ariel of the Dragons. So they're still looking for the deflection here. Coach Carboletto's got the ball. Doesn't like he wants to get it back until we get a call here. We're going to get a call, a timeout call from Coach Ariel Van Guardia. Guardia is how you pronounce it. So, Harry, I think fans are getting everything they asked for tonight. 2-point game, almost 2 minutes left.
You can see how foul trouble does get into the minds of the players. You want to stay aggressive, but you don't want to be fouling out, especially when it is the top world players playing in the league. They don't want to give away an advantage when the game is this close. Right now, the respective coaches reminding the players the situation. Slim, tenuous 2-point lead for Malaysia.
So 3 players with 20 points or more for the Dragons would be Wright, Gottfried, and Johnson. All 3 going over the 20-point mark. Boy, I tell you, packed house tonight, Harry. Teams in it. And that last field goal made by the Heat, almost blew the roof off this place. It got loud, and
well, you can just see they're a lot more in sync this week than last week. They know where each other's going to be on the floor a lot better. They know tendencies better than they might have against Singapore.
Well, this is exactly what Connor and Henry Wynn envisioned: a winning team in the middle of Ho Chi Minh City.
You can hear the noise, you can hear the noise in the building.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
We're on our feet, Mark and I.
Well,
so we're into the game just as you guys are.
We haven't taken a seat since the beginning of the fourth, and we're not going to take a seat because this one's going to get exciting. 2:10 to go, 80-78. Dragons over the Heat. They want Johnson down low on Creekmore. Spins. Air ball.
Oh!
To Morgan. And we're going to get
big
a blocking
collision.
foul.
Big collision at
We're going to get a
midcourt.
blocking foul. We're going to get it looks.
Jason Brickman and David Arnold, big collision at center court.
So Arnold's going to be helped up.
Arnold's getting up. And the crowd
Crowd
appreciates it.
that.
There's a reason why he's on all the posters outside. He gives it
Definitely
all
plays
every
hard.
game.
So as we see David Arnold there, shaking off the leg, or just a tough collision there. And we're going to get 2 shots. They are in the penalty. So Dragons in the penalty, which gives Arnold, one of their better free throw shooters, 2 shots with 2 minutes to try.
Brickman doesn't seem to agree, but if your team's in the penalty and you clip the guy on his way up the court, nullify a fast break.
One-point lead. Ian Arnold trying to tie it.
And the crowd is going quiet now. There you go. Tie game.
I can only describe it as pandemonium.
I'll hold the mic up. And of course, when I hold the mic up, I get a little quiet, but still.
So 2 in possession. Heat with a chance to take the lead. Just under 2 minutes. Creekmore. Arnold drives left. Up over Johnson. And looks like we're going to get an out-of-bounds possession.
That was a huge foul. You get the 2 shots and the inbound as well.
So possession to the Heat as Morgan will take it out underneath his own basket. Wants Arnold. Baseline. Back out to Creekmore. Morgan. In and out. Minute 40 to go. Tied at 80. Brickman bringing it up the floor. Wants right to Gottfried. Left-handed in. Off glass, Gottfried, 2-point lead for the Dragons. Oh. Morgan's going to bring it up for the Heat. Gets the pick from Daniels. Morgan just beyond the three-point line. To Daniel, drives on Johnson.
Beautiful.
And in! What a move by Luddy Daniel.
Just long strides all the way up the lane.
Back tied at 82 with 1:10. Brickman, top of the three-point line. Got it.
Oh, clutch shot.
What a clutch shot. Coach Tony Garbaletto wants the timeout. So Brickman with a dagger into the hearts of the Saigon Heat. 85-82.
You can see Lenny Daniel coming off the floor just going, oh, what do we got to do? Claw your way back into the game. And then Jason Brickman, there's a reason why he was player of the week last week.
Well, certainly a high-scoring game tonight. You know, both teams over the 80s and the 80s, so a lot of action tonight on the floor as we're getting a promotional thing here going here, Harry, on the court. Coach Tony Garbaletto, as you can see here in the huddle, wants to get, you know, that go-to play for the offense and make sure they get a good look here. And that look will most likely come within 1 minute. So, you know, perhaps looking for the three or the best option or the best look, which could be a two. So we'll see what they come out with.
There's basically time for 3 more possessions. You can hear the drums behind us. If they can connect on a 3 of their own, this place is going to go off.
It will indeed, Harry.
But do you go for the 3 or do you get the 2, hope for a stop, and then go for the win?
Well, only Coach Tony Garbaletto can answer that, and we're going to see that answer.
At this point, the clock's a factor, fouls are a factor. You got to figure if you're feeding it inside. So many players with 4 fouls. Not all of them are going to be here at the end of the game.
Taken out by Morgan to Viet Arnold. Looking to isolate Morgan. Top of the three-point line. Morgan wants to drive left. Morgan gets caught down low. Gives it out to Daniel.
Oh.
We're going to get a foul on the floor. So there's going to be a foul on the floor by number 5.
Number 5.
Brickman.
Yeah. He's got 4 fouls now too then, doesn't he? Just, yep, 4. That's his 4th.
It's going to be 2 shots. And I think it's a good result. You stop the clock, you get 2 free throws. The only thing with that, Harry, is that Daniel has not been that accurate from the free throw line tonight. So
I wonder if that factored into the decision when he had his hands on the ball. You got a guy with a foul or 2 to give.
Absolutely, Harry. That's a very good point. So perhaps intentional by the Dragons. But Daniel says thank you very much and hits the first one. Trying to get the Heat within 1 with 52.9 seconds to go.
That's been the only dicey part of his game tonight, the free throws.
Off rim, but Creekmore gets the rebound. Morgan, top of the key. Viet Arnold wants to slow it down, looking for the pick by Creekmore. Viet Arnold drives. And we're going to get another foul on the floor.
Is that on Johnson? Who's it on? 42.
And that's it. Johnson.
Reggie Johnson's out of the game.
Is going to the bench. That's his 5th foul. And
the Rusty
look
Bucket
who's
boys
waiting
are going to let him know. Everyone's saying goodbye. Oh. Or in Vietnamese, Hẹn gặp lại. See you later. He had a good game, though.
He did have a good game, but he's got to take a seat. That is huge. With 38 seconds to go, the Heat couldn't have asked for anything more than that. Johnson going to the bench and 2 free throws from one of their best free throw shooters on the team, Viet Arnold. And the first is up and in.
I can see here with our vantage point over the scorers table as Coach Van Guardia just came over to check the timeout situation for his team.
1 point game as Viet Arnold trying to set the roof off this place with the free throw.
Oh, and it just rolls in. It hung there just to get the crowd worried, and then it fell in.
And we're going to get a timeout by Coach Tony Garbaletto. Is this fun or what?
You can hear them.
Get up, get up, get up on your feet.
They're waving their arms.
Let's start cheering for your Saigon Heat.
I wish I was on camera to let you guys know, but here we go. No problem.
This place is going nuts tonight. Absolutely bonkers.
So you got 38 seconds left. You got to think Malaysia's going to run their whole 24. Then Saigon, what do? Just hope for a stop, and then they can go for the win.
Well, let's hope they can get the stop. There is enough time with 24-second clock. It's a 2-possession game.
Maybe if you do get the ball back, you got to think they're going to feed it inside to Daniel with Reggie Johnson missing.
Well, Johnson now out of the game with 5 fouls. And like we mentioned, Harry, this could change the whole complexion of this game. And I know there's only 38 seconds left, but please do not discount the importance of Johnson not being on the floor right now for the last 38 seconds, because it could be huge.
Basketball's a big numbers game, and 5 fouls, you've got him out.
Timeout. All right, this crowd's just, you gotta love it.
I believe that's the side C fans over there, all on their feet, letting them know.
Brickman driving left. Top of the key, YJ. Vaughn, Creekmore, the rebound. 30 seconds. Arnold's going to want to slow it
30
up.
seconds left. Slowing it down. He's slowing it down.
They want time off the clock before they shoot. Arnold drives.
Oh.
Knocked away, Wright. Wright wants to keep it. It's 15 seconds. Wright drives. Godfrey.
Huge defensive. Oh, that's Creekmore's 5th. Creekmore's out.
That is going to be a foul on Creekmore. And he's going to go to the bench.
And Creekmore's had a good game. Garbalato's talking about the time on the shot clock. Wants to ensure the players know they've got 12.9 seconds left, depending on what happens with Calvin Godfrey on these set of free throws. Giving his floor general, David Arnold, some instructions.
So Chung comes on for Creekmore. They're going to go small ball. And a good idea with perhaps, quick shot that might have to be taken here by the Heat when they retain possession, if they retain possession. Godfrey missed the first.
There we go.
The crowd's going to try to make it as difficult as possible right now.
Big free throw coming.
Missed a second.
Oh,
Daniels
huge.
the rebound.
12 seconds. Don't waste time. 10, 8, 7, 6.
Ian Arnold brings it up. Wants Daniel. Drives. Kicks it out. Min. Clock winding down. That's going to be Heat ball. So we've got 0.3 of a second. And that ball was kicked away by the Dragons. So that is enough time. And it technically, 0.3 of a second is all you need to get a shot off. Daniel lamenting the last play, asking, give it back. I want it back. What a fantastic game, Harry.
Catch and release. This could go to overtime. This game could go to overtime.
It could, maybe. But depending on what happens here out of the timeout and what play Coach Tony runs, we could see the end of the game as well. So what a fantastic night this has been for Ho Chi Minh City, for the team. And, the future looks bright with the support they have in this community, Harry.
That's another thing. If it does go to overtime, what's the lineup going to look like? After a couple of minutes, you could have more players fouling out.
So overtime, a possibility here tonight. I don't think the fans are complaining about that. They get to watch their heat through extra time. Can't get enough of their heat here in Saigon. So exactly 0.3 of a second left on the clock for the Saigon Heat to try and get a good look.
And I've covered the team for years here, but I've never been present for a home overtime game. So this would be a first for me. They've played overtime games on the road, but not here.
Daniel, top of the key. Off rim. Oh, man, that was, boy, you got an open look on that one. That was close.
What do I got to do? I can read his lips. What do I got to do?
We are going to overtime. Boy, that's exciting.
I can see the staffers here too. Got their hands on their heads. Nail-biting finish happening here in Saigon. For those of you tuning in around the world, I'm Harry Hodge doing color. Mark Anthony doing the play-by-play. He's toweling off. It's been that intense. He brought his ShamWow.
Yeah, I got a ShamWow.
It's pink.
I
didn't know they made him in that color, but yeah.
It is still Ho Chi Minh. It gets, even though and they don't call them the Saigon Heat for nothing.
Yep.
Even though we got central air, it gets hot in here, and that more or less has to do with the basketball team than the outside temperature, Harry.
So both teams' big men fouled out to end regulation play. How's that going to affect the complexion of the overtime?
Well, I think, Harry, what you're looking at is most of the offense being run through Godfrey. As you can see there at the end of the first or second half.
We've got our regulation stats. Got some regulation stats to look at here. Fouled out with 16 points and 18 rebounds. He had a big game, Creekmore. Leading the Heat with 32 points and 16 rebounds, Lenny Daniel, but he's only got one foul left. He's got to be wise with that one. For the Dragons, Matthew Wright with 21 points. Reggie Johnson fouled out with 32 points and 16 rebounds. They're going to miss him going into the overtime.
Well, Creekmore leading the team here tonight in rebounds, and what a real find there for the Heat. To have that true center out there who can take a game over, as he has shown here in the last 2 days, or last two games, this week and last week. We got Moses Morgan here at the small forward. He is 4 for 17 for the game, so most of the offense is being dominated by the three international players, Daniel, Creekmore, and Morgan. But Morgan,
for those unacquainted, it's a 5-minute overtime in the ABL.
Put on the clock, 85 all. 5 minutes overtime. Back out to Brickman, top of the key three. Off front rim, gets his own rebound. Gottfried, challenged by Daniel. Fantastic defense by Daniel. Still tied at 85. Well, we're going to see Johnson out of the game and how much the complexion of this game has changed. You can see the middle of the floor, a little bit more open, a little bit more soft with Johnson out of the game. Dean Arnold, corner, behind the three, drives. Got Min from three-point land.
Oh, just took too long.
Violation, so was trying to get the defender in the air, did, but ran out of time to take the shot.
Possessions are that much more precious in overtime as well. You've only got 5 minutes to put the game away.
Well, time is precious. In overtime, turnovers, ball possession is precious. Brickman to right, to Queck, to Ma in the corner for three. No good.
Off the Dragons.
And should be the Heat ball, and it is. They can already see Johnson's absence really affecting the confidence of the Dragons. Confidence level seems to have been knocked down. Beat Arnold bringing it up. They desperately want the lead on this possession. Daniel. A little bit lackadaisical, lackluster for both teams here in overtime.
They gotta be tired. These guys have played 4 full quarters already.
Min from the corner. Pump fake. Arnold for 3. That one's a little long. Daniel, another rebound.
Beautiful.
Puts it in.
And the foul.
The hoop and some harm as the Heat have a chance to take it up to 3.
Who was that one on? Was that on Wright?
It is. It is on Wright. No, it's on Godfrey.
That's the second foul out.
Godfrey is out of the game.
That's gotta play to the advantage of the Heat. Both big men out. And the Rusty Bucket bad boys are letting him know.
So nah, goodbye. And I apologize for that, folks. That was really corny.
It's an emotional game. It's an emotional game, Mark.
It is. I don't know what else.
You're only human.
Happy trails or something like that. But happy trails to Gottfried and Johnson, both out of the game. Daniel trying to make it a 3-point play. And does.
There you go. The old around the way. I saw you could see into the future on that one. You're an oracle. Amazing.
3-point lead, 88-85. 3.5 to go.
You can just see the size difference now with those two guys out of the game.
Well, it's all outside as Wright tried to hit the 3. Daniels, another rebound. And he wants them to slow it up. And it's all about ball possession right now, Harry. All about ball possession. Morgan drives. He's got Chung for 3. Off rim. Arnold the rebound. Poked away by Ma. Brickman wants the 3. That's short. Wright got the rebound and was fouled.
What are they saying? The foul on Chung.
The foul on Chung there. Jerry brings his team over the sideline.
The Heat have to remember they've got both of the other team's big men out now. They need to work around this system that can take advantage of the 2 big men missing.
Crowd making their presence felt. First one up and in.
Matt Wright blocking out the crowd and just doing his job.
Well, he's a good player. Matthew Wright, second try. Short. And we're going to get a foul on, looks like Morgan for going over the back. That's a huge call. So 2:54 to go. Morgan goes over the back. And that is Morgan who's going to take a seat, and he's out of the game. So 10 coming in for Morgan.
A lot of players fouling out this game. That's the 4th one.
We knew it was gonna get like this towards the end of the game. But fortunately, first one is missed. So Ivan misses the first one. Fortunately for the Heat, they still got 2 very, very good players on the floor in Arnold and Daniel. Daniel being their best player. Still a 1-point lead for the Saigon Heat, 88-87. 2 minutes, 47 to go. With no immediate rush to Chung. Chung. Back to Chung. 10. Trapped in the corner. Bad pass. Stolen by Ma.
Miscue. Matt Wright screaming for the ball. He was heading out there all alone.
Brickman Wright for 3. Missed it. They need the rebound. Didn't get it. Thrown up by Quake over the rim.
These 2 players tangled up, and Daniel's getting frustrated. The crowd's not going to like that.
It looked like Quake.
Quake wouldn't let go. He was grappling with him.
He was. I was watching the whole thing, Harry. Daniel was trying to get up. Quake was putting some wrestling moves on him. And I don't see how the referees missed that. I really don't.
Can you make a flagrant foul on something like that? I mean, it's quite clear you're impeding the player.
He should be ejected is what I think. That was egregious, I think.
I've never seen that before.
Well, Daniel, the Coach Garboletto just wants to calm him down. You know, either way, the Heat have the ball. They have possession. So
Quake was owning it, too. It's not like he pretended this was a normal play.
Yeah, he's smiling over there. And he's a little bit like a Dennis Rodman, perhaps, of the Detroit Pistons bad boys, trying to get under the skin of the best player. And
oh.
That's
a lot of people slipping here. You don't want to get hurt coming into the
I'll tell you
court.
right now, they have called a foul on Lenny Daniel. He is now out of the game.
I don't see how that happened.
I'm confused right now. Anyway, the pass out of bounds. Chung's got it. And the three-point attempt. Boy, they need a miracle right now. They're going to get a foul on the floor from Dye. And I am still trying to figure out. And what I'm going to say here, the only thing I can think of, Garboletto in the face of the official score, and he should be. Because the only thing I can think of here, Harry, is that there was a technical or a foul, because of the way Lenny was protesting the call. He was pretty heated up.
Yeah.
He is now on the bench with 5 fouls. So, but the case if it was a technical on Daniel, they would have been shooting free throws for the Dragons, not these free throws.
Quake's got four fouls himself.
This is interesting, and now a 1-point lead for the Dragons. And if we're looking at the starting 5, or the 5 that are on the floor now, all Vietnamese players.
David Arnold, the heritage player, and
David is a heritage player. Chung,
remaining player,
for 3. Front rim. That was Dye for 3. Just under 2. They need a miracle. Stolen away by Viet Arnold. Drives.
David Arnold's got to take. He's the remaining veteran here. He needs to put this team on his shoulders. That one thing I'll say is if David Arnold can lead this group of players to an overtime win, this will be huge for the mentality of Vietnamese basketball fans.
Well, he's the face of the team, as we've mentioned many times before. He certainly needs to be the face of the team last minute 45. They need Viet Arnold with Creekmore, Morgan, and Daniel all fouled out. And on the other side, Gottfried and Reggie Johnson for the Dragons have also fouled out. First one, a little bit long.
Misses one. Got to hit the second one to tie the game, and then make a stop on the other end.
Viet Arnold trying to tie it. And does.
Swish.
We are tied at 89. A minute 40 to go. Brickman, right, wants the 3.
Oh.
And got it. And gives a cold
What can you say?
stare to the Rusty Bucket Club.
Clutch shot. That was a clutch shot.
It was. 3-point lead. Right, looking to steal it from Arnold. Does. Brickman has got it out front. Regains control. Spins baseline. Fouled.
Do you take that foul or you just try to defend him?
Well, that was an intentional foul there from Dye. And a timeout. Coach Tony. So
This is unfamiliar territory for a lot of these players. They haven't been in a game like this, getting quality overtime minutes. 3-point deficit. Minute 22 to remaining in the game.
Well, with so many players fouled out, unfortunately for the Heat, the 3 best players on the team have fouled out. So really, offensively, there's no go-to guy here in the ending moments of this game. Having said that, they are only down by 3.
Anyway, I think number 55, Quek, is now public enemy number 1 here in Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm still confused on how Daniel.
If anything, I see that as a double foul. Why is he still in the game?
Right, so may have called the double foul on Quek and Daniel and given the Heat possession, but I don't see how that works out. If it's a foul on Quek, it's Heat possession. If it's a foul on both of them, they will go to the possession arrow, which in this case was to the Saigon Heat. So I've seen weirder things. I wouldn't call it a miracle if they can come back and win this game. But they certainly are on the back foot as we come towards the end of overtime with a minute 22.
Let's not forget, Malaysia's still got Jason Brickman and Matthew Wright.
They do, and they're from the Philippines and very good players in their own right. Brickman missed the first and hits the second, making it a 2-possession game. Boy, Quek, he just likes getting under people's skins as he was doing there on the last play. Tin, Chung, back to Tin. Looking for Chung at the top of the half court, and he is fouled. And he will go to the line.
Thing. This could be huge free throws for this young player.
First one a bit strong and long and off the back of the rim.
Can still make it one and a 3-pointer to tie.
Yep, he hits the second one and makes it a 1-possession game. A little bit long.
Both.
So now ball firmly in control, the game firmly in control for the Dragons. Right, Brickman drives.
Foul on Chung.
On the floor by Chung.
This is just a position that some of these Vietnamese players have never been in before, too. This is uncharted territory for them.
Well, it's good that they're in there because
this is how you learn.
Absolutely, Harry. You don't want this happening. Say, for instance, in the waning moments of the playoff game. So it's the only really silver lining that I can come up with, because it looks like the Heat really on their back foot here is to get this quality time in for Vietnamese players in crunch time, basically. Viet Arnold is being trapped by Brickman and Wright. Trung, corner.
You gotta let one out there. Shoot.
Viet Arnold for 3. Got it!
Where did that come from?
Cuts it down
he
to
shot
one
that from
possession
how long,
game.
Bay?
So parking lot 3 there by Viet Arnold. Brickman out to Wright, nearly threw it away. Wright looking for the pick up top. Tin on Wright, fadeaway jumper. And boy,
he's had a huge game.
Is a fantastic shot.
Huge game.
That is the nail in the coffin, perhaps, from Michael Wright or Matthew Wright. Dye missed it. Rebound. Viet Arnold knocked it. Back to Ivan. 5 seconds. Wright, another 3. Got it. Yells some obscenity at the fans and puts the nail in the coffin. The Dragons are going to come out on top. 100-92 over the Saigon Heat. And a valiant effort from the Saigon Heat, but came out just short. And looks like, this team certainly has a lot of fight in them. But to say the least, folks, it's got to be a disappointing loss for the Saigon Heat here tonight, as they just left it all out on the floor. Looked like they had the upper hand in the middle of overtime, and then lost Lenny Daniel to a foul, and that changed the whole game.
Interesting post-game handshake. They're They're at least high-fiving each other, and it looks like water under the bridge. But how can you not feel for the Heat? They left everything on the floor. 3 top players foul out. Go with a solid all-Vietnamese lineup at the end there, including Viet Arnold. That said, you can't match the excitement of the game here. If you get the chance, come down to the Canadian International School and see a game live. Go to SaigonHeat.com for more information on tickets.
So SaigonHeat.com for all the ticket needs of you fans out there. Coach Tony comes over to the official scorer and giving him a piece of his mind. He's not done. Yeah, I'll have to agree, Harry. You're not going to always see the officials get it right, but it did seem like they got it wrong more at the time here in this game.
There's a lot of pivotal plays, like especially that we're going to be talking about that foul quick on Daniel or vice versa, or double foul. That's going to be all over Twitter. That's going to be all over chat groups all week.
Well, I still don't know what happened in that game. Daniel was given his 5th foul when it clearly, we could clearly see Queck was holding him down. So, like you said, Harry, the only thing we can think of was a double foul, and changed the whole complexion of the game. Really, that did it. Lenny was the best player on the floor before he fouled out. Godfrey, Johnson, 4 of the Dragons were already out of the game, and it would have given them free range to match up against anybody on the other side of the Dragons.
It'll be an interesting rematch when these teams face each other again later in the year.
Yes, it will be, and I think even with the score 100-92 and the record for the Heat going to 0-2, there were a lot of positives in this game to build on.
So your final score, 192 in overtime. The Heat dropped to 0-2 this beginning of the year, with Malaysia going to 2-0.
Thanks for joining us tonight, folks, and let's send it over to our Vietnamese TV team for the interviews for both coaches, Coach Ariel LaGuardia and Coach Tony Garbaletto. Thank you for joining us. I'm signing off. Mark Anthony for my color man, Harry Hodge. We will see you next week.
Good night from Saigon.
Thank you very much, folks. Take care.
Quý vị và các bạn thân mến, chúng ta vừa theo dõi xong trận đấu giữa hai câu lạc bộ Saigon Heat và Westports Malaysia Dragons. Một trận đấu rất kịch tính và căng thẳng khi hai đội phải kéo nhau đến 5 phút hiệp phụ để có thể phân định được đội thắng thua. Và rất tiếc là Saigon Heat của chúng ta đã để thua với tỷ số là 92-100. Và đứng bên cạnh tôi lúc này là huấn luyện viên trưởng của câu lạc bộ Westports Malaysia Dragons, ông Ariel. Congratulations, and how do you think about the player performance today, and which point makes you satisfied most in the match?
Well, it's a lucky win for us. We just got lucky we had the break, so we love playing here, and it's a long season. It's a long season. We're gonna go back to the watch film and see how we can do better.
Ông Ariel đã chia sẻ rằng đây có thể được xem là một chiến thắng khá may mắn dành cho câu lạc bộ Westports Malaysia Dragons, và ông cũng thấy rằng các học trò của mình sẽ cần phải cải thiện và khắc phục nhiều hơn nữa để có thể đạt được những thành tích tốt hơn ở những trận đấu tiếp theo. Còn đây là cầu thủ xuất sắc nhất trận đấu ngày hôm nay, cầu thủ mang áo số 7 bên phía câu lạc bộ Westports Malaysia Dragons. Hello, congratulations because you been voted MVP of the match. And how do you feel now? And what point make you satisfied in this win?
I'm relieved. I'm just happy we finally pulled it together at the end. It was a chippy game. It's very difficult. The crowd really got to us. It was a very physical game. There's a lot of fouls. It's a shame that at the end of the game, a lot of the best players on each team were out due to foul trouble, but I'm just happy we pulled it out.
Vâng, cầu thủ xuất sắc nhất trận đấu ngày hôm nay là Roy đã chia sẻ rằng đây là một trận đấu mà anh đã phải chịu rất nhiều áp lực từ phía các cổ động viên, và đây cũng là một trận đấu rất khó khăn khi mà hai đội đã phải kéo nhau đến giờ thi đấu thêm, và anh cảm thấy rất là vui, cảm thấy rất là hạnh phúc với chiến thắng ngày hôm nay. Và những thông tin vừa rồi, những hình ảnh vừa rồi cũng đã khép lại buổi tường thuật trực tiếp trận đấu giữa hai câu lạc bộ Saigon Heat và Westports Malaysia Dragons tại giải bóng rổ nhà nghề ABL 2015 của đài truyền hình Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Xin chào tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở trận đấu tiếp theo của Saigon Heat.
one of the hardest things in life is to be different. It's not easy to step out and do something that the next person is not doing.
You know, I grew up and make it there, and now I'm 11 years in consecutively. So you try not to take it for granted. You know, you try to, you understand.
A different story. You might be from the same block, you might be from the same park, the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but everybody got a different path.
I think what Dwayne and Lee Ning are doing for these kids is unbelievable, man. I think we need more of those type of people that are not afraid to sacrifice something that's, and most importantly, a younger generation.
D-Wade coming to my high school, it means the greatest thing in the world, basically. And he's giving back to me, like this room, before he gave back to this room, it was really small. Now it just looks excellent, it looks the best. And D-Wade coming to my school, personally, that's just the greatest thing to ever happen, because most people, when they make it, they don't come back.
Themselves, be confident and competent in any arena.
Make your own way to me is kind of like paving your own path to greatness.
Be a leader, kind of follower.
To inspire other people to lead by example.
Challenging my team to find the need in the community, without you. And, going around and trying to, figure it out, man. And, we always try to leave an impact. By seeing someone come to your school or see someone care about you enough, it can change your whole outlook on life.